For me, part of visiting ski resorts is to just be in the mountains, seeing the incredible mountain views and soaking in the big mountain peaks all around. Some resorts have really amazing mountain views and others not so much. Here's my list of the 15 most magical mountain view ski resorts in North America. We filmed this a few months ago, but when I re-looked at the footage, the audio was pretty bad from the windy conditions. Like behind us, beautiful mountain views. So I'm gonna start the list here and then go back to that footage once the audio improved a little bit. Number 15 on the list is Purgatory Ski Resort in Colorado. Purgatory is in southwest Colorado in the San Juan Mountains. As you ride down the front side of the mountain to the base village, you see across to the Needle Peaks, which are 13ers. The view from the terrain parks is also really cool and it feels like you're launching off into the mountains. Number 14 on the list is Palisades Tahoe in California. This resort has the best views of both Lake Tahoe and the Sierra Nevada mountains. The tram ride takes you up to the viewing platform of the whole area, or you can go up even further up Emigrant Lift to the highest viewpoint. If you go over to the Alpine Meadows side of the resort, that's the closest view of the lake that you can get to. Number 13 on the list is Revelstoke Mountain in British Columbia. Revelstoke is located up Mount Mackenzie in interior British Columbia. At the top of the Stoke Chair is an amazing view of the Monashee Mountains to the west, and then if you hike up further to Subpeak, you can see the Purcell Mountains to the east. Number 12 on the list is Big Sky, Montana. As you come into the base village, Lone Mountain is the prominent mountain of the resort. The Headwaters Ridge has awesome views of Lone Mountain and the Triple Black Diamond Chutes around the resort. Then if you take the tram to the very top of Lone Mountain, that overlooks the Spanish Peaks of the Madison Range in the Rocky Mountains. Number 11 on the list is Taos, New Mexico. Located in the San de Cristo Mountains, which are the start of the Rocky Mountains in the south. Taos has several hike-to areas. You can either hike to the top of Cochina Peak, or sometimes they have the lift running and you can go to the very top, and then you have views all around of the different mountains. For the rest of the list, I'm gonna go back to the mountains.
10 is Snowboard. That's in Utah, and from the top of the tram at Snowboard, you have awesome views of the Wasatch Mountains, and you can also see all the way down Little Cottonwood Canyon to Salt Lake City, unless the smog is covering the city. But it's the mountains that really get it its spot.
At number 9, we have Jackson Hole, Wyoming. At the top of the tram at Jackson Hole, you see the Teton Mountains to the west, which are gorgeous. To the east, you have the Gros Ventre Mountains.
Tetons are just iconic.
Definitely hike up to the top, and then you can see all the way around.
Coming up at number 8 is Alyeska Resort just outside Anchorage in Alaska. Now this one would be higher on the list, but often the views are obscured. But when you get a sunny day, you can see the Chugach Mountains and you can see the inlet down from the resort. And these mountains are so gnarly and so cool to look at.
Number 7 is Copper Mountain in Colorado. In the back bowls, you get the views of the 10-mile range, which are spectacular. See over to Quandary Peak, 14er. And the view back here, we're gonna get to that very soon. We're at the top of the lift again.
Next up on the list is number 6, and that's Fernie Alpine Resort. That is in southern British Columbia. And from the top of Polar Peak, you can see all the mountains all around, 360-degree views. It's right in the Lizard Range. And not only that, when you're riding lower on the mountain, you can always see the gnarly cliffs that line the top of the resort and the head wall. And that is just incredible to be able to be riding right next to rocks that intense.
At number 5, Ski Big 3, so I'm lumping 3 ski resorts together here. Lake Louise, Banff Sunshine, Mount Norquay. These are all in Banff National Park. They're in the Rocky Mountains of Alberta and they border British Columbia. The views are spectacular from Lake Louise. You can see the actual Lake Louise. And Sunshine, you're right on the Continental Divide. Mount Norquay, spectacular views down to the Bow Valley and several peaks in that area.
Okay, number 4 is where we are right now, Panorama in British Columbia, Purcell Range, and behind us, it's right across the Columbia Valley and the Rocky Mountain Trench, and you can see the full span of the Rocky Mountains here in BC and Alberta. And oh my gosh, literally 1,000 peaks or more. You can see Assiniboine in Alberta, and just incredible, whether you're from a lift, going down the run, or hiking up where we are right now. Panoramic views.
Let's finish off the last 3. And number 3 is Aspen Highlands. On the way up Highland Bowl on Bluebird Day, the views of the Elk Mountains are spectacular, including views over to the Maroon Bells. The view of the bowl is really cool too, but it's the best at the very top, overlooking all the mountain peaks nearby. Number 2 is Kicking Horse in Golden, British Columbia. Kicking Horse is our favorite ski resort, and the views impress. From every part along the top of the resort, there's jagged peaks of the Purcell Mountains and the White-Tooth Range. On a clear day, you can see forever, looking across hundreds of peaks. Also, looking across the bowls on the resort and seeing all the chutes that you can ride is really cool too. And taking the top spot is Telluride, Colorado. The views of the San Juan Mountains in southwest Colorado are spectacular. There are several 14ers in view, including Wilson Peak, which is on the Coors Light can. Palmyra Peak is at the top of the resort, and it's incredible, along with looking down at the Box Canyon where the town is nestled. So that's it. Telluride takes the top spot. So the next time you're playing a ski resort and you want to go into the mountains are calling you and you must go, check out one of these ski resorts with incredible views. This is the last of our ski resort rankings. We're going to move on to ski resort review video guides that we typically do. So we have about 10 of those coming up, so stay tuned. This is Jeff with Snowboard Traveler, and we will see you at the next mountain.
Okay, we should not have done this while hiking.